Now what you got? So close, we get so far. What do they want to know? Solve the triangle, okay. So eventually we will have angle A, angle B, and side C. Okay. Do we have a right triangle? Almost, but no cigar. Therefore, we will not be using SOHCAHTOA. Do we have a known angle and a known opposite side so we could use the law of sines? We do not. Therefore, we will be using our backup plan, the law of cosines. Duly noted in the record. Subject 2183 does not like the law of cosines. Yep, execute order 66. Therefore, all clones are turning on us. Okay. Didn't want to name names. 2183. Okay. If we want to, which side or angle are we being forced to find? C. We need to find side C first. These are on opposite sides of the triangle, so they must go on opposite ends of the formula. And as I told you, that is the most important decision that you have to make in this equation. What goes at the ends, and I guaranteed you that one of them would be a variable. In the first group, I have to have a 12 and a 21. In the second group, I have to have a 12 and a 21. It does not matter in what order you put them, as long as you have one in each group. So, now what? We're just going to plug and play. Yes, we're going to type all that in. Right? 12 squared plus 21 squared times 2 times 12 times 21 cosine 95. Whammo. Yes, it is over 600. 600 what? Can I get a witness on that? 628.9? Okay. Alright, we'll throw it out to there, but you know it goes on. Okay. Next. Square root it. Square root answer. Make sure you're using that answer feature because nobody wants to type all those numbers. 25.1? Because I want you to round, but I want you to round it at the end. So keep the nasty, ugly digits in your calculator, and then so that's why I want you to use the answer feature when you're doing that square root stuff and moving stuff to the other side. Okay, now that we got side C, what would you like to do? Would you like to find angle A or B first? We're going to allow Mr. Meyer to choose angle A. He's going with angle A. All right, so as I said to you before, resist the temptation to switch to the law of sines because you will possibly run into the ambiguous case whether you want to or not. Now, there is a way around it, but I just want to caution you, you might as well just stick with the law of cosines one more time, and then you'll be fine. Okay, plus this is good practice for the other type of solving. He wanted angle A, therefore what goes on the far left side? Well, it has to be opposite of angle A. If you don't choose that correctly, you're in trouble. And then I need a 21 and a 25.1 and a 21 and a 25.1. What do we need? are we going to do with that chunk right there? We can combine them, but what are we going to do with it after that? Subtract it to the other side. Now, me personally, when I type it on a calculator, I type 12 squared minus 21 squared plus 25.1 squared. Well, you don't have to do it this way. If you would like to do it, Mr. Scavo suggested we just take 21 squared plus 25.1 squared. That's fine if you want to do that, yes. Yes, it does make it negative. Say it again. Oh, that's a good point. I will agree with you wholeheartedly there. I screwed that up. Thank you for catching that, Mr. Okay? So, good call. Okay, but yes, subtracting a chunk over does cut down on my work. If it bothers you that you don't know what 21 squared plus 25.1 squared is, then, write it out if that would really help you, or you like it, seeing it that way better. But obviously my calculator is telling me when I subtract that over, now I have negative 927.01 equals negative 2 times 21 times 25.1 cosine A. I'm running out of room. What are we doing with this chunk? We are dividing it, you're right. Okay, so I literally will hit the division key on my calculator, which will create answer divided by, and then I do parenthesis, negative 2 times 21 times 25.1. You can use parentheses if you like instead of using the times sign. It doesn't matter, as long as you use parentheses around the whole thing. So my calculator now tells me that cosine A is equal to approximately 0.879. Now what? How do I get A by itself? The inverse cosine, right? So what I'm doing is the inverse cosine of 0.879. What do I type on my calculator? I type cosine inverse, and then I use the answer key. If you don't know where the answer key is, it's at the bottom of your calculator, right above the little negative button. Unless you've got a different style calculator, then you probably need to find it. When I do cosine inverse of the answer, I end up with 28.4. Okay. Did I lose anybody on the 3 steps I did? Subtract, divide, and invert cosine. Yes.
Usually you say you don't have to look up
What the reason?
How do you decide?
Okay, if you start, that's a good question. My suggestion to you is if you know you have to start with the law of cosines, just stay with it one more time. Now, the next thing that I find, I am not going to use the law of cosines because I know 2 angles in a triangle. I'm going back to geometry school, and I'm just going to use what I know from that they add up to 180. Okay, so. But I recommend that if you start with the law of cosines, you stay with it one more time. Because, people make mistakes and they end up with the ambiguous case, and then they get frustrated, and I don't want you to be frustrated. So you might as well just do the law of cosines twice, and you won't. The law of cosines doesn't have that ambiguous case. Okay? So find me the last side. Find me the last angle, I'm sorry. And we'll see what Mr. Parker and Ms. Crockett got 95 degrees in the triangle from the very beginning. And then you got 28.4 now, so we got two angles. So, did you forget one of them or something? Try that again. You got the 95 at the very beginning, angle C. Now we got 28.4. So try that again. Yep. All right. Might be just 6 1 notes, but
How are we going to have new information if we're not in
yes. College is horrible. I know.
not college, it's high school?
This is a college level math
Yeah,
class.
but they don't give you the next
You have so much to learn. So much to learn. They make you read all kinds of crap. Okay. So, what did you find for the last angle? 56 point what? I got 56.6. Remember, they have to add up, so you just got the 95 to 28.4, and then you subtract from 180. Okay, next. Got a question? Stretch it. Yeah. All lowercase letters. Okay, so that's all the sides. A equals 1. B equals 5. C equals 4. Okay, geometry. What did they teach you about the two shortest sides of a triangle? The two shortest sides have to add up to what? Longer than the third side. Not longer than or equal to, longer. Did that happen here? That's why she was confused. And I get it. But that goes back to your geometry days of, that whole property. Yeah, you can't do anything with that because if you add 4 and 1 together, I mean, think about this. If you look back at me, because I want people on home to see me too. Look back. I know you all have to turn around. Okay, see my two arms, and at the top is a hinge. If the distance from my fingertips to my elbows is not changing, but the distance between my elbows can change as I move this angle in between. But if I move the angle in between so far that it becomes 180 degrees, then the tips of my elbows reach the edge. And that's what happened right there. 4 plus 1 makes 5. There is no triangle because the angle at the top is flat as a pancake. Right? It's a line. It's not a triangle. Okay? That's the situation you're in right there.